Being a single mom and doing it all by yourself is brutal. Learn the brain and energy tools to get back to your center and overcome your challenges. Do you wish that you could do what you love and earn money and make a living out of it? Do you feel that you somehow limited in your options because you're a single mom and you don't believe that you can really start on your dream? Today, in this episode of Single and Doing It All, I have the perfect guest for you because that's what she does for a living. She helps women like you. Her name is Petia Kolibova. She's a passionate coach and podcaster who helps corporate women who have been pushed down and have been playing small due to toxic relationships or childhood trauma, and they never healed. So their past is dragging them down and holding them prisoner today. Her mission is to help women who are on the path to heal their past wounds, move through their limiting beliefs and internal blocks so that they can finally do what they want to do. So I told you she's the perfect guest for us. Welcome, Petia. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. And you did a great job, with my last name. So thank you.
I know I said it offline and I was much better. And as soon as the camera is on, I start struggling.
It was amazing. And I'm super grateful to be here because I know that we have common beliefs and practices. Yes. So I feel like sometimes we just need to hear the things a little bit differently, just so people can resonate with it. It's like you can read the same book 10 times and then you're finally like, oh my gosh, now I get it.
Yes. And sometimes even very simple things, you don't get them until one day they click in your body because you heard it when you were supposed to hear it from the person who you really resonated with. So I'm glad you're here too. I know we're very aligned. So today you're helping women go for their dream and move from corporate to their own business and their own purpose. I would love to know how you ended up doing what you're doing today, because I'm always very, very interested in knowing people's story.
That's a great question. Thank you. I also have my own podcast and it's called Unapologetically Abundant. And throughout all the interviews that I have done, there is one thing that I realized, that all the people who are successful and truly living fulfilled life have in common. They created something they needed themselves. And how simple it sounds, but when you are in it, when you're in the darkness, because it's so easy for people to see me where I am right now. And yeah, for her, it's easy. She's young. For her, it's easy. She's so confident. She's so full of life and positive. They should have seen me 10, 15, 20 years ago, because I wasn't the woman you see now. Because now I have my podcast, I have my online coaching. I work only with the dream clients. If you're not aligned with my values, you're not even in my inner circle. And less to be my client. I have my own TV show, podcast. I'm traveling the world. I'm living with the love of my life. And if you would have told me that I will live like this, I would laugh into your face. Because 8 years ago, I was struggling with self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, eating disorder for over 18 years, attempt of suicide, depression, anxiety, and people couldn't tell. That's the worst. Because on the outside, everything looked okay.
And that's very common in today's society. There is a lot of depression under the carpet, that because people don't really feel safe showing that, because there is a lot of judgment and shame about it. But knowing that somebody like you who went through that, because I also coach people through what I went through. And frankly, since I'm raising teenagers, I'm always learning, right? So the tools that work for me I always share them with my clients. And it's an evolution process because you become better and better. But knowing how it feels makes all the difference as far as your ability to help people, because you know the pain. You're not just talking in theory, you know how painful it is in your body. So today in your coaching practice, do you see a trend of women who come to you? Do they all have something in common, or there is a variety and you can't even pinpoint the common thing?
That's an incredible question. I don't think I ever got that one. And to be honest, when I started a different business 40 years ago. It was social media marketing management. I wanted to be empowering wellness entrepreneurs, like, health coaches, life coaches, to have their voice online. And back then, there was no single freaking thing common. Nothing. It was men, it was women, it was small business owners, it was, like a store, and how it's so many different. It was because I didn't see my worth. I didn't value myself.
Yeah.
I would take anyone. Now I work only with young women who want to change the world. They are in a corporate world. They are going through transitions because they know they're meant for more, that they're just experiencing right now, and they're numbing. They are numbing with food, emotional eating. They are overspending their money because they're working so hard. They want to reward themselves.
Yes.
There are in toxic relationships because, like I mentioned, they don't love themselves enough to see their worth and to know they're enough just the way they are. But deep, deep inside, they have this burning desire of empowering other women, to be serving other people, and they feel like they're not good enough. They have the imposter syndrome. So these are the common threads in all of the ladies that I am now, coaching online.
And by the way, as you know, now we record the podcast on Facebook, so you can be in the studio audience. And if you come here later on replay and you have a question for Petia, you can put it here and she will come and reply to you. Because if that's you, if she described you, she can help you and you would benefit from her knowledge and her expertise. So don't hesitate to come on replay and put questions. When women come to you, what is the most dominant block or belief that you see in their way from even daring to think that they can do something else and live a better life?
I think the biggest block, it's really, I know it will sound interesting, but I believe that the biggest block they have is to know that they're enough and they don't have to change.
Yeah.
Because they feel that what and who they are and where they are, it's not enough. Who am I to be coaching other people? Who am I to be a business owner? They are craving the freedom and the confidence and the happiness, and they're settling for much less than they deserve because they don't see the greatness in themselves. So that's when I step in and we truly go back. We go back into the root cause, because the thing is that if you don't have a coach, most of the times, and I know it because I've done it, you're putting band-aids. You will be training a lot and you will be reading a lot and it will feel good for a little bit, and then you go back and it's even worse because you already experienced that there is the goodness. So we truly look at their life as holistic, and that's how I really look at that. I used to be personal trainer, I suffer with eating disorder, so I know that we get to treat it as whole, not one piece.
And the truth is, I see that with my single moms. What we think that is the problem is not really the problem, because what I hear a lot from single mom is like, I can't because I don't have time. I can't because I don't have the money. I can't. And those are challenges. I'm not going to say that it's easy because I see how I started, but it's not the real cause. The cause, like you said, is much deeper. And frankly, I have not met a woman except women who have done a lot of work on themselves, who feels that she's enough, who feels that she deserves the best, because we've been conditioned to, first of all, you don't brag about yourself. That's something, God forbid, you don't say, I'm amazing. Oh, you're so full of yourself. We learn that very young. And the second thing, especially for single mom, is you put everyone needs before yours. And that's such a recipe for disaster at every single level. So is it something that you see a lot too, the people pleasing and I would never say that I'm amazing because I'm afraid of the reaction around me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's something that no matter if you're a single mom, young girl, or older lady, we have it because, like you mentioned, we are conditioned. I'm originally from Czech Republic. I feel like here in America, it's a little bit different, I would say,
Yes,
because the younger generation, on the other hand, I just feel like they're entitled, you know,
they
that's what
want the other side. Yeah.
they're on the other side. But me being from Europe and me and my clients that I'm attracting, there are not full of themselves because they go just softly. What if people judge me? What if I fail? What if
Yeah.
people will like think, that I am full of myself? So absolutely, but it's beautiful because, and that's why my podcast, I just renamed it just like last week. It was called Be Strong Minded because I believed in the trio. The B went to spirituality, your being. Strong went to the body, and mind was the mindset. However, what I saw in all of the coaches and the women that I work with, they are doing everything for everyone, like you mentioned. They don't take care of themselves and they are always apologizing. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'm sorry. No, be freaking unapologetic because once you love yourself, once you see your worth, you will set your boundaries. Once I created my core values last year, everything changed. Everything. Like you name it, it's changed.
Yes, and it requires you to know who you are, really
Absolutely.
go inside. And the biggest fear that we have is that we're not lovable. So all those symptoms of accepting every single thing because we're afraid we're going to be abandoned and nobody's going to love us, they're just what is showing up because we cannot love ourselves first and for all.
Yeah.
So with your clients, let's say one of the single moms there is thinking about making a change. What would be the first thing you would tell her to do? The first thing before anything else?
It depends if we have just like a clarity call because that's where I go really deep because I want to get to know her. Once I know her, I really help them to create their core values.
Okay.
To really see what do they stand for. Because when I realize what do I stand for, and for me it's loyalty, integrity, always learning, and generosity. Once I put down these four core values, everything that didn't align with it, I just let it go. And I had to look at my business, my life, my relationships, and most of it I had to let go.
Yeah.
So when
And
you know, it's easier.
so knowing who you are and what you value the most will inform your decisions, your behaviors, and who you invite in your life or not. But like you said, you need to be clear about it. And
Absolutely.
that's where having a coach is crucial because we need somebody who's going to reflect. We are living 95% of the time unconsciously.
Yeah.
So we do stuff we don't even know we do. So
And
yes,
we're repeating all the same old patterns. If you don't change something, you will drive the same way, you will eat the same food, you will wear the same clothes, you will be attracting the same people because you think that that's the only thing that's possible and known. So I always encourage my clients to be more adventurous in their lives, say yes to new things and then figure it out because it can be as little as driving different way home.
yes. Because when people hear that, sometimes they're scared that they have to drastically change their life. But saying something like that is a step outside of your comfort zone, your usual way, and even creating new neural connection in your brain. Do you have any other example on a small scale how they can change? So take a different way to work. What else?
Also, just to create conversations with strangers. Because what we all truly want is being seen and being heard. And it can be as easy, as easy. And now listen, you go to the grocery store. What do you normally do? You are with your nose in your phone or like, like, did I buy everything? You're in your head.
Yes.
What if you would look at the name of the person who is charging you and just ask them, how was your day? I really love your jacket. I really love your name. How is your day going? Just creating those conversations instead of being in your head and ignoring the world around you, because you never know when you can hear an inspired idea or something that will spark your day and do things differently.
And you were talking about depression earlier. You never know where you can save a life with a smile. It's possible. I mean, you're going to smile to somebody who has been sad all day. It's going to brighten her day. And on a spiritual level, because I know you're spiritual, we were talking about that earlier, you will be doing good in the world. You will serve other people. And that's there is a reward that you instantaneously, oh my God, Franglish, in the moment, as you do it, you already are reaping the results, the reward as you do it.
Yes. And that's the thing, I believe that it's really the small things, and smile, it's something that I always do, and something that I learned in the United States that I never experienced in Europe, but I don't live there for so many years now, like almost 10 years that I'm out. But in Europe, I would never get a compliment from women. Just imagine you're at the gym, you're at the store, like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. And when I was at the gym, when I just moved here in the United States, there was a woman, she came to me and she was like, oh my gosh, I love your top. And I'm like, what does she want from me? Like my first reaction, like what does she want? And that's something that I learned here. Compliment and acknowledge others and do to others what you want them to do to you.
Because in Europe, I know in France, the way I've been raised is, first of all, you have to be proper. You don't show too much emotion. That's not proper. You don't speak too loud, not proper. And we're more afraid of each other. You don't really start conversations with strangers as much as you would do it here. So you're right, it's more frequent here than there.
And of course, you have to be thinking about culture and place you live. Yes. And there's like, for example, like if we would be, in some like Saudi Arabia or something, you don't go there, and it's being respectful, it's different. But where we live, where most of our clients live, we have the freedom to be ourselves. We have the choice.
And that's something that is so taken for granted. We don't we don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
But it's big.
And it's, it comes back to gratitude, being truly grateful for everything. And that's also my every single day practice.
Yes.
I am always grateful. I have my morning routine that it's just non-negotiable. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. But I even created a freebie that I can share here, later in a comments, because your moms will love it. It's morning routine. It's the 3 things you're not doing that are preventing you from living your dream life. And it's basically a morning routine that it's of 15 minutes. Life changing.
It is. Gratitude is very powerful. First of all, even without changing your situation, you already start being more fulfilled because you become aware of what you have instead of being aware of what you don't have. And on a energy level, you attract more of it.
Yeah.
So we'll share that in the comment. And let's talk about self-love, because that's one of the root cause of also being happy and attracting better stuff in your life. most women, when I talk about self-love, they don't even know how do I do that? How do I approach it? What does it mean? That's why I love asking my guests for some, oh great, you put the link, perfect. For their own definition of
Mhm.
self-love. What's your definition of self-love?
Self-love for me is acknowledging what's working and who I am at this moment. Because the thing is that we think that, oh, I will love myself when I'm making more money. I will love myself when I have the perfect body, or when I am clean, I clean up the house, or when I cook. No, you gotta acknowledge yourself for who you are right now. Love what is. That's a self love for me, truly. Because if you are living in a, I call it a when land, when this and this
Yeah.
happen, then I will feel better and love myself. Be proud of what is. And one of the exercises that I give to my clients is to, at night, before you go sleep, go to the mirror and say
Yes.
7 things that you are proud of yourself. Because
Yes.
we take so many things for granted. Listen, there were days that I truly didn't want to live. There were days that getting up of the bed, from the bed, was for me like a act of hero. You
Yes.
know, I didn't want to do anything. So when you can acknowledge yourself for what's working and what is good in your life, then that's like the first baby step of acknowledging yourself. It doesn't have to be big. It can be like, I would say, for example, Petia, I'm so proud of you that this morning you didn't feel like working out. You went and you did it. Petia, I'm so proud of you that you wanted to eat the 12 donuts and you had only 3. Good job. You know, it can be as little as you want, but acknowledge yourself.
That's true. And you end up seeing the richness of you too, because there are so many facets of us. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be something out of the ordinary. I know for single moms, it can be, I'm so proud of you for not going crazy when the school called you about a problem with your child and you didn't go, ah, but you stayed more centered. That's an achievement.
It is. It
And
is.
the mirror, oh my God. I love Louise Hay. She was really the queen of the mirror work. And it reaches that part in us, that child, that little girl in us that is craving for attention and love. So it's really powerful.
Yeah, Louise Hay, she truly changed my life. She was the one who truly helped me on my journey of self love and self discovery, because it was around 8, 7 years ago when I was still struggling with eating disorder. And one of those nights when I am, sobbing on the floor alone after another binge and purge, and feeling so guilty and ashamed, because 8 years ago, you're not sharing it so freely like girls can be doing now on social
Yeah.
media and have more help. Back then, and it's not that long time ago, but it wasn't as open as it's now. I was feeling so ashamed and so lonely. In that moment, I realized that if something doesn't change, I don't want to live like this. So I
Yeah.
took my computer and started to do a research. How can I be happy? How can I feel good? How can I, get rid of eating disorder? And then one of the videos pop out was, hey, her mirror work. Go to the mirror, say I love you. I didn't even
Yes.
get up that day. I didn't go to the mirror. I wouldn't even say it.
It's when I work with people, and even when I started doing mirror work, you feel awkward about saying that. It's like, oh, that's ridiculous, but that's just resistance. And very few people, I haven't met a client yet that can say, like I'm saying, Muriel, I love you, her name, and I love you. Either they drop the mirror or they start giggling, which cancels what they just said, or they start crying. There is always a reaction. Always. This is so powerful.
Mhm.
So that's what that was your first step, then, I guess,
Yes,
into your recovery. Yeah.
yes, it was. Because then what I realized is I didn't love myself, but I was willing to learn to accept myself.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. Even if you cannot say I love you, because for me back then it just like felt like a lie.
Yes.
I was open and willing. And that's what, anyone can do.
Yes, and that's really where I start with people who resisted so much. I'm open to loving myself, or I'm learning to love myself, and then it does a crack in the door. Where can people find information about you if they want to maybe work with you, or if they want to listen to your podcast?
Absolutely. I will share the links in under comments, but for later.
I put your website in the description.
Thank you.
So I don't know if that's the best way.
That's the best way, but also I love hanging out on Instagram. So your favorite place, it's Facebook. For me, it's Instagram. And what I'm also doing right now, besides planning for my first live event in Las Vegas on April 27th, I also just launched a 3-day free video series. You know how to truly be unapologetically abundant and unapologetically you.
Yes.
So I can share the link, and I think that's the best first step to truly embrace who you are and become unapologetic. Because no matter what other strategies you are trying to learn, if you truly don't embrace who you are, nothing else can really land. So I am on Instagram under my name, Petia Kolibova. The same is my website that I saw you posted. Thank you, petiakolibova.com. And I'm on Facebook. So if anyone has questions, I love supporting others in their growth. So I'm here.
That's thank you for that. Thank you for the great work that you are doing in the world. And I hope many women are going to check that out, because if you want to live your dream, the first step is already dipping your toe in water, and that's an excellent way. I want to thank you for being here today with us and sharing your wisdom and your expertise. It was really rich, and I really resonate with you a lot. So thank you. Thanks a lot. And
thank you so much for having me, because I truly resonate with all of your teaching, and I think there's a lot of alignment, and we met at the perfect time for a reason.
I think so too. I think so too. And for our audience, if you liked what you just watched, just send us some hearts or some thumbs up, share with your friends. If you want to be notified next time I'm going live, just put notify in the comments, and you will receive a messenger bot, a message from my bot telling you when I'm going to be live and what we're going to be talking about, so you know if you want to be listening or not. And until I see you next time, go and love yourself, and dare start thinking about how your dream life would look like. And if maybe you want to do something else, maybe you want to go check out what Petia is teaching and coaching about, or maybe you just love your work, but there are other aspects of your life that you want to start bringing to the next level. So go and love yourself, and I'll see you next week with another topic. Bye.